Welcome, everyone, to the Your Energy First podcast. I'm your host, Emily Marie, and it is such a pleasure to have you here to talk about all things your energy. Welcome, everyone, back to the podcast. It is such a pleasure to have you here today. We are going to talk about divine protection, what it is, and how to call in more of it. And there are a few universal laws of energy that actually are going to help you understand why it is you are divinely protected at all times and how you can use this information to benefit you. And before we get started, I have a few announcements and also some intuitive messages. I'd actually been feeling the energy for this session for the last couple of days. And when I woke up this morning, I just felt this gentle pressure, like, get this out, get this out, get this out. So here we are. I'm happy to birth this for all of us. My first announcement, I'm so excited to let y'all know that I have actually worked out a contract with a company in my area who has agreed to let me use their podcast recording studio in exchange for some energy meditations. So we are going to be getting some better sound quality to you all. I've tried a few different avenues. I am not a techie. And yeah, I'm excited that I'm going to have a more semi-formal place to record for you. What's funny is the space that it's in is a little bit, what's the word I want to use? It's a little bit heavy. It's in a basement, which is ironic, right? And I know that the space needs to be cleared, and I think I'm actually going to do the clearing on a podcast. And one of the things you may or may not know about this podcast is I'm actually holding space through my intention for everyone who listens. And when I do that, we basically are co-creating together, and you are going to receive activations, healings, expansions, releases. What else? I'm looking at the energy and I'm not really sure what the words are for some of these. I guess transmutations, transformations. Not all of that for every single episode, or maybe, who knows what's to come. But just know I am holding space and intention for the highest good of all involved. And that is actually a part of these podcasts. It's something I haven't talked about up until this point, and I'm probably going to get into further on another episode on how I do that and why I do that. Why I do that, because I can't help it. It's what I'm here and meant to do. And I think each of us is an activator in our own way, which is really cool. So that's the first part. But when I do this podcast and I do the clearing, it is going to, one of the things that I do well is hold divine space and protection. So even though you're going to be listening to it, you're going to be held safe. Now, if you decide, hey, Emily, that thing you cleared, I'm super interested in it. I'm going to backdoor this and I'm going to seek it out energetically, telepathically, remotely, and I'm going to dig in. Go for it. I mean, that's on you if that feels true for you. But of course, I don't think anyone here is going to do that. I think we're all going to mind our own business. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about as well is the fact that I also own a company called Live Gratitude. And this started because when I was working 70 to 80 hours a week in tech and I had no life and my self-care was at a negative number. I mean, I would wake up in the morning. Some days I didn't even shower. I didn't even have the energy to shower. Like, dried shampoo is my best friend. And I would not have any time to myself all day long. Our calendars, they specifically had our calendars booked out solid weeks in advance, and our only days off were supposed to be Saturday and half of Sunday. It was crazy. It was stupid. It was so stupid. I mean, just what's the point? The stories I have from that time are just nuts. And I remember I'd wake up in the morning, it'd still be dark out, and I would go to put some underwear on, and I would choose the color of my underwear based on what my intention was for that day. And that was maybe my only moment of self-care all day. And say I had a big meeting or an important conversation I needed to have with someone or my boss, I would pick the blue underwear because that's associated with the throat chakra. And keep in mind, while I was doing this, I did not know what the sacral chakra was called, what the solar plexus chakra was called. I didn't even know all of their colors. It's the colors of the rainbow, by the way, or whatever you intuit, truly. So anyway, that would be my bare minimum. And then I'd go to the bathroom. And what's really tragic is going to that gross corporate bathroom was sometimes my only respite throughout my day. It was my only moment where I'd have to myself, where I could just take a moment to like breathe, which who wants to breathe in a corporate bathroom? But then I would see that color and it would remind me of my intention, and it would make my intention stronger and reaffirm it. So I started Live Gratitude because we all know gratitude is one of the highest vibrations. And when we live in gratitude, it can really get us through and teach us through some challenging times. And needless to say, we're all going through collectively a challenging time at the moment. And I too still go through inner child work, relationship work, and I help myself through the process in a myriad of ways. I do self-energy healing. I do journal work. I work with my spirit team and guides. I also practice gratitude. I also reach out for professional support when I feel like I need it. So I just want to acknowledge that fact because it's my opinion. I will always be on this journey of like self-actualization, right? Aspects of myself are always going to show up that need to be tended to. It's just part of the journey. So Live Gratitude is having a summer sale right now, and we use an amazing sustainable fabric that has a full closed loop process based out of Austria. And you can go to the website and just look at which colors you're drawn to, or you can go with which intentions you're drawn to. And we have 3 styles of underwear and tank tops, and it's really cool because the fabric is actually naturally regulates your body temperature. So if you're feeling too cool or too warm, it'll help you regulate that. And it's also naturally antimicrobial. It's better for your most intimate parts than cotton. It's crazy. Like, why do we not use more of this? I know why we don't, because the fabric is so expensive. Dig it from me. And it's all ethically made in the US. And I'm looking to outsource that into another ethical manufacturing place, because let me tell you, the cost of making things in the US are just astronomical. But just know when you are purchasing these items that everything was made with the best of intentions, and that carries forward in what the product is going to help you do on your day to day. And for my listeners, I have a free shipping code for you. The free shipping code is Your Energy First. So on top of the summer sale, if you want to get it for yourself or for someone else, you also get free shipping. Okay, so the intuitive messages for, I was about to say this month and the guides pulled me back. They're like, for whenever someone listens to this. So I had mentioned a few minutes ago the fact that self-healing and the evolution of self is an ongoing process. And our spirit team will repeat to us the most simplest things, the most simplest guidance until we start listening to it and doing it. And one of the things they keep talking about, they're saying more playtime, more adult playtime, more free time. They say, we need your minds to have a place of rest. So what gives your mind rest? What gives your mind ease? They just showed me the television, and they said it actually can't be around electronics. Okay, so it's because when we watch TV and consume social media, we're actually still processing and digesting information, of course, and having to have discernment. And so they say, we really need you to be present, because this is about your mind letting go, your energy expanding and clearing and grounding, and you trusting yourself more. That's interesting. It's interesting to me. Wow, this actually makes so much sense. but we don't trust ourselves enough, and then we consume media, and we're getting so many messages. Of course, why would we trust ourselves when we're watching so much media? Okay, so I guess that's the only intuitive message. I thought I'd heard messages, but that's it for now. Okay, cool. So getting into divine protection. One of the things, there's this universal law of energy that every living being is divinely protected. It's our divine right. And what I'm talking about right now is from energies, things we cannot see, things that we are perceiving with our sixth sense. And the way that I was taught in a period of my life is that my protection of self energetically needed to be something that I took care of myself, that I projected. I was told by an instructor that, for years I wasn't doing it right. And I remember it just feeling tired and exhausting. And one of the things that I was taught to do was that we have a bubble, and I need to put protection around the bubble, And then I had moved away from this instructor and their teachings, and immediately my guides were like, your light, your inner light, you have an inner light. And I was like, oh my gosh, I do. Oh my gosh. And I'm looking around, I'm like, everybody has this inner light. And I remember seeing an inner light and shapes and colors and energies on people as a kid. And all of a sudden I realized what my inner light was. Keep in mind, this teaching is as old as time. You can read about the inner light in all kinds of different types of works. It just has a variety of forms and names. I like to keep things simple. That's the name of my game. So we're just going to call it inner light. And what I saw is that the more I, as a person, consciously connected, aligned with, said hello to my inner light, acknowledged it, played around with it, asked it for things, my light just expanded, just expanded so much. And then what I saw is that at the end of my energy field, all of us have an energy field, of course. You and I are energy hanging out in a gorgeous human body. And what I saw is at the end of this energy field, there is a shield. It makes me think of Star Wars. I had to get, you guys, the Treks and the Wars, I know they're two very different things, but I have a hard time discerning between the two. Star Wars, there's that energetic field, and everyone has an aura. Your aura, by the way, is just all of your energy combined into one. Your aura is just your energy hanging out, being cool, doing the thing that it's doing in the moment. And then you have an energetic field all the way around your body, your energy, and it protrudes far out from your body. And this is already a natural filter for you. Let me tell you, when it comes to energies and entities of the light and of the dark, there's so much more than you and I could ever fathom or imagine. We know a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent of the energies that exist, that, we think of like angels, ghosts, demons, light workers. There's way beyond our comprehension. That's why the guides always have me use really general terms like specialists of the light, because there's just we would get inundated and we'd be dragged down just learning about all these different things. And that's not what we're here to do. We're here to live our life. So you have a natural divine protection, a filter, and the more you are activated in your light, what happens is your inner light then protrudes and is the protection, because your inner light is source. It's your spirit team. It's your divine protection. And by the way, you actually have divine protection in your spirit team. This can look a variety of different ways. It could be a variety of different things. And it's a beautiful thing. So you have this inner light. It's projecting through your aura to your energetic field that is acting as a filter. And because there's so much that exists as far as energies go, look at how little actually protrudes into your energy field. Really? It really doesn't, if you think about it. It's kind of crazy. Like, you would think we would see, perceive, experience so much more than we actually do, given how many energies are out there, and really we don't. We're here just trying to hold down our own personal energetic fort when we go to like a party or a group gathering, right? We're like, so many people's energy right now that I'm picking up on. So know that your divine protection is already in play, which is really, really key. So just take a deep breath and know every time you align with and acknowledge your inner light, you're just like, oh yeah, I just made my force field a little bit stronger. And the other thing we want to do is we want to talk about divine protection. So this is something I use when I am going to sleep at night. I don't use it every night. I think I've got my place on pretty good lockdown and expansion. So I used to do this a lot more often before I understood how to clear and raise the vibration of my home. When I'm traveling, I use this a lot. And what I'll say is in the evening before I go to bed, I set the intention for divine protection for myself and who I'm with for the highest good of all involved for the entire duration of our night's rest. And so it is. The other thing that I do, especially when I am going into a house clearing or when I'm holding space for a client who has an entity clearing, a dark entity clearing, because there can be entities of the light or of the dark, or if I'm just walking and I start to, you get that little nudge of like, something feels a bit off. I will again connect to my light and I say, I set the intention, I am divinely protected immediately. I will say, I call in guardians of the light for divine support and protection. I will say, oh gosh, hang on. Spirit's bringing me to this. How do we provide divine protection for loved ones? Because I know some of you are thinking this. So they are saying, let's see here. So you connect to your light. And let's say you want to give divine protection to your son. His name's going to be Sean. And you're going to say, I set the intention for divine protection for the highest good of all involved for Sean for XYZ trip or for his entire lifetime or, and for however long. It's always good to set a duration. And then the other thing is, so you set the intention, you set you connect to your light, you set the intention, you set the duration, and then you actually can reinforce it. So you can actually, if I'm in a situation, I've traveled to some places where I'm like, this ain't good. My energy, this place's energy, we don't jive. I'm going to respect you, but stay out of my business. Or if I'm doing a sticky house clearing, I really reinforce my light and my energy, and I will continue just to say, I set the intention, I'm divinely protected. My divine protection continues. It's okay to reinforce the energy. What the guides are saying this does is it's like the energy is building and expanding. It's like it's becoming more and more reinforced. Now, it works the first time, but if you know that there is something else at play, you really want to hold that divine protection and reinforce it. Okay. The other piece is they're bringing up like when worldly events happen, when tragic events happen. So when we talk about divine protection today, we are talking about in the day-to-day. It also means we need to listen to our gut. It means we need to, they're saying, make difficult decisions for ourselves. Things where we might upset other people, we might offend other people, we might, what else? They're like, gosh, we're feeling tired. I don't want to do this. They say we have to keep listening to ourselves and trust ourselves and ask for, oh my gosh, they're like, they just showed me this huge wave of expansive energy. They say, ask for our support, especially when you're tired, especially when you don't feel like doing something. They go do the things. Trust us, trust your gut. all of us, every single human is receiving all different types of guided information for our spirit team to help us live the best and most fulfilling lives. Now, there's so much weighing us down right now in this physical world. It can be kind of hard to sift through. And what they're saying is, as best you can, acknowledge your light and just ask for help, ask for support. We've got you. We've got you. Okay, so one of the universal laws of energy is that the light always prevails. Another term might be the light always wins. So when you are in your light and you're holding that intention, you cannot be harmed. You cannot be harmed. And I have been in many precarious situations, and when I am in my light, I am never harmed. And the second universal law of energy is our free will. So say I, for example, go into a house clearing and I'm like, okay, I've got my intentions and I'm aligned with the light. And then say there's something in an area where I'm like, gosh, I'm kind of curious about you. You look interesting. I want to learn more about you. And my guides are like, this is not a good idea. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but you guys got my back and I got my light and this thing looks interesting. And and I go into ego and I'm like, this would be good information for a podcast. I don't actually think that way, but but let's say I did. And I was like, oh, this would be a cool story. It'd go viral or something. Then I might tap into that. And all of a sudden I've crossed a boundary. And this boundary is I've received the warning signs. I've received the nudges that this is not a good idea. And I'm acting from a place that's not of the light, that's not of integrity. I will get burned, guarantee you 100% of the time. Absolutely. And I've been down this path in the past, not to such an extreme level, but I was just really curious about something and I wanted to physically see it more because I see energy and I could see its outline. And I was like, I want to see more. I want to learn more. And this thing came through my iPad and attacked me. And it was the worst attack I've ever experienced in my whole life. And I'll tell it another day. But we need to get everybody confident and comfortable in their inner light first, because it's a doozy. I should probably tell my parents the story too before I put it out in the public too. So just know that that is one of the other universal laws of energy, is that when we cross that barrier and we use our free will to say, this is what I want to do in lieu of what feels like it's for my highest good, that those things can happen. So, don't be fearful, okay? You want to just be in your light, feel calm. That's why we like our inner light. Feel calm. You've got this. If anything, the biggest lesson out of all of this is, oh my gosh, how amazing and powerful are you? You have access to these resources. And this is the other universal law of energy. The more you work with the light, the more it expands. I know I've already talked about that on a previous episode, but I'm going to be repeating myself a few times as we all sort of let these laws sink in and really utilize them for ourselves. So know anytime throughout your day, at any point, you could be brushing your teeth, you could be driving your car, you could say, oh, I set the intention for additional divine protection and support right now, and you're going to get it, boom, just like that. It's really, really incredible. You could think about your family members right now. Imagine your inner light. From your inner light and from your heart, think about all your family members. See their inner light in them. And from your inner light, set the intention for divine protection for yourself, your energy first, and then for everybody else in your family. It's a really, really beautiful thing. And know, the more you take care of your energy, you are contributing to making this world a better place. I know it's rough out there right now. You can only do so much. You are doing so, so amazing. So thank you as always for listening. You can find me at emilymarie.com. There are a few different ways to work with me. If you just want to receive a group energy healing session, there's the Inner Light Circle community. If you want to work with me one-on-one, you can book there. And I am also getting ready to announce a new way to work with me, which I'm so excited about. It'll be coming out in the next few weeks, maybe August, but keep an eye out for that in the newsletter, and always reply to me, connect@emilymarie.com if you have any questions. Sending you lots of light from mine to yours.